Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah. Okay, trustees, reconvening our board meeting. Before we move on to the next item on our agenda, I would like to take one of our agenda items out of order. And so I'm asking for unanimous consent to take community celebrations first, not community concerns out of order. Any objections to that? No objections. We're going to move on to community celebrations. Okay. And the reason for that is trustees, we'd like to take the opportunity to honor another individual who's here, who is unfortunately going to be departing the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, and that's our Chief Operating Officer, Kehau Pu'u. Kehau, if you can come up, please. Yes, you have no choice. Mahalo, Kehau. You know, Kehau, we just wanted to, the trustees wanted to take an opportunity knowing that your departure with the Office of Hawaiian Affairs is not today. But it is in a less than a week and a half, and while most of us will not be here because we will be out of the state. And being that this is our last board meeting before you leave, we wanted to take the time and the quick opportunity just to mahalo nui loa you for your dedicated service to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, which started back in July of 2024 as our Chief Operations and Chief Operating Officer. It's clearly been evident by your leadership and your contributions as a key member of the executive team, as Stacy's right-hand person, to help implement the policies and advance our Lahui's organizational goals. And so on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we want to just say mahalo nui loa for your unwavering support for Lahui, for upholding the core values of kako, of aloha, of pono, of kulia, and ho'omau. We know that there were many, many long nights that you worked hard, whether it was here or at home. You never leave here and leave the job here. You take it home with you, and you worked through some very, very difficult times when we had significant vacancies, and I think you were wearing like 8 hats at once. I think for me personally, and I just started in November, but one of the things I know for a fact is you worked really hard to fill critical vacancies in manager and director positions that we benefit from today. And many of the people sitting in this room are a result of the hard work that Kehau, you did to fill those vacancies, while at the same time wearing the hats of those responsibilities. And so on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we want to wish you well. We are sad to see you go, but the City and County of Honolulu is getting back someone who is an exceptional individual, and I know represents the West Side and the Nanakuli community exceptionally well. And so best of luck and congratulations. Any words, Kehau? Turn your mic so.
First, mahalo wau I ke akua a me ku'u mau kupuna for this opportunity to be here at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. It is with a heavy heart that I returned to the city, and that was a huge struggle and decision to make because, I want to serve Lahui. That is my passion. That's my kuleana. I feel like for all the blessings and opportunities I've had in life, that it is my kuleana to give back. And so I mahalo the opportunity here. I grew a lot. Wasn't easy, was tough. But I appreciate that, and I can take all of that back with me as I restart, I guess, my other journey. So I do want to mahalo each and every one of you. We have amazing limahana, like, administrative staff, even board trustees, trustee aides, like we have amazing limahana. So I just want to say, like, malama them, take care of them, take care of each other. I think the mission the mission of this office is huge. It's big, kuleana. And so mahalo to all of you for your service. I want to mahalo my colleagues and my Alakaʻi here for bringing me along. And, I am e kala mai ha'o that I am departing early. Yeah, and I don't know what else to say.
Mahalo.
Yeah, thank you. Mahalo ya o kopakari apau.
Trustees, any mana'o from our trustees, recognize trustee Souza. Prepare.
Malo Chair, Malo Kehal. It wasn't easy. We've had conversations, heart-to-heart conversations, and I really, really appreciate you. And I know you're from the west side, so we're a little bit thick-skinned out there, right? We can handle, but certain things are not easy to deal with, right? Especially wearing many hats. Last week, I thought Stacy and Rick Blangiardi was gonna get into it. When we were sitting around the table, I was like, hey, take it easy. But hey, good luck. It doesn't end here. It's a partnership, especially as OHA teams up with the state and the city and the different organizations. We look forward to having you on the other side because we do need representation as well. And we definitely want to keep that relationship. So good luck. Aloha.
Trustee Ahuna.
I just wanted to say thank you, and I wanted to say big congratulations on everything you have accomplished here. And I just wanted to wish you the most on your journey. And I hope to see you again. So thank you so much for all you've done.
Chair Emerita.
Ke hau. I know that when I was the chair, I was pretty rough on you. But I want to thank you. And I tell you, anybody that can tolerate Office of Hawaiian Affairs, they have to grow. They cannot not grow because, I mean, this is an unusual place to work. But we're all very passionate. And that's why we are what we are. So mahalo so much for all you've done in the short period that you've been with us. And we wish you well at the city and county. And by the way, the people down Nanakuli told me that their parks don't have grass.
Trustee Kina.
Thank you, Chair. Kehau, you have been an exceptional example of what an employee at OHA should be. But more than that, you have demonstrated the principles and values that we believe in OHA and as leaders in the Lahui. I know that your heart will take you far and that you're not leaving us. We remain together in our work to serve the Native Hawaiian people and all people of these islands. Very proud of you. All my aloha.
Trustee Alapa.
Okay, how? My goodness, girl, I miss you. I just gotta say, having a chance to work with you over the past 6 months, being in the position that I'm in, and I've learned so much. But I also learned a lot about who you are as an individual. Your love and passion for what you do it's evident in everything and throughout our ohana, and the things that people say about you. You're really at the epitome of your work, and it's gonna be very hard to find someone to replace you. My gosh, maybe we can come visit you, and you help come over sometimes and visit us. No worries, we're gonna be here. You know that. There is so much that we have to do, as you may know, and it's gonna be hard shoes to fill, obviously. But I just want to wish you the best because the city has gained an incredible employee, and but we are going to work together. So it's not the end of today's. It's looking forward to our next step together. So I want to wish you all the best. Mahalo for all you've done for us.
More trustees. Trustee Galatera.
Thank you, Chair. Very simple for me. You just tell Blangiardi, get a grip. We're taking names and numbers on this board. Okay, aloha to you.
Trustee Wahehe.
Thank you. I just wanted to, thank you for all the work you did. You really did do an awesome job. And I want to thank you for being a beautiful person and a beautiful soul.
Well, we're gonna end on that note. Let's take a quick recess so we can take a photo. Oh, I'm sorry, Trustee Akaka.
Ke hao, o mai ka ia oe, mahalo no kohana nui, ma oha, no kanaka o iwi. I've had the great pleasure of working with you through time, and I'm very honored to have worked alongside you in the Waianae Coast community, representing alongside you. And I will also want to mahalo you for the many hours of work that are not normal hours, not normal business hours. So if it means that we're working on a Sunday till 3 a.m. to make sure things are done as they need to be done, that's what we're doing. And I mahalo you for being alongside our team and doing this work on behalf of our people. I wish you the very best in your role back at the city and county of Honolulu. And I look forward to our paths crossing again, whether it be on the west side of Oahu or anywhere in the community. And I truly believe that they're fortunate to have you back there. And I welcome you to join us back here at any time as well. Mahalo for all of your hard work here at OHA and for our Hawaiian people. I know you will continue to serve in this role through time, always, in whatever path that you take. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Trustee Akaka. Trustees, let's take a quick recess and let's go take a photo with Keha outside. Sorry, we have quorum, so we're gonna get started because we have a lot on our agenda today. Okay, reconvening the Board of Trustees meeting. Our next item on our agenda is a travel update for the upcoming Raromatai 2025 festival in Tahiti. Lehua, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this agenda item?
No one is signed up to speak on this item.
Okay, great. Would you like to move?
Announce, yeah.
Okay.
To announce.
Okay, got it. All right. Before we jump there and recognizing Hailama, the Navy, who is going to be attending to give us their PMRF EIS update, they've requested to present about 11 o'clock in the morning. So based on the current time, asking for unanimous consent of the board to move this item to be heard on or about that specific time. Any objections to that? Yeah, today. If there are no objections, they're taken at that time. We're going to move on to the Raromatai update from Hailama. So trustees, as you recall, we briefed the Board of Trustees on this invitation from the 3 communal mayors on the island of Raiatea, who we, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, in collaboration with Kamehameha Schools, penned an agreement between entities, and this event is the celebration of that agreement and the formal signing of that agreement in Raiatea. We presented the Board of Trustees back in March, kind of the conceptual plan. We are on the eve of the departure, and we wanted to just give the trustees and our beneficiaries an update on this upcoming trip. So, Chair recognizes Senior Director of Hawaiian Cultural Affairs, Hailama Farden, to give a brief overview of the trip.
Mahalo, Chair, aloha trustees. The Office of Hawaiian Affairs has been invited to participate in 2025 Raromatai Festival, a major cultural gathering uniting delegates from Hawaii, Aotearoa, Rapa Nui, and Tahiti. This year's event marks the formalization of twinning agreements to promote cultural heritage, education, and community across the Polynesian Triangle. The ceremony will highlight and will begin this Polynesian nations merge at Marae Tapu Tapu Atea, Polynesia's most sacred temple and a UNESCO World Site. The festival honors ancestral voyaging, shared spiritual traditions, Pacific kinship. The Hawaii delegation joins as cultural ambassadors to uplift native Hawaiian ike, language, artistry. Throughout the week, delegates will participate in chant, hula, carving, and cultural exchange alongside our Moana Nui Akea cousins. The OHA delegation will commence with 32 delegation members, which includes 6 trustees, 5 executive staff, 5 cultural experts, our Loea and Kumu, and 16 Ohana members. Delegates represent Hawaii leadership in cultural education, governance, language, and arts. Our trustee and chair, Kaili Kahele, will co-sign the Tapu Tapu Atea agreement on behalf of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, who will be joined by the Kamehameha Schools. The two delegations form the entire Hawaii delegation next week. So some quick highlights. Sunday, July 27th, we will be arriving from, of course, Papaete to Raiatea, and there will be the opening ceremony at Tainu'u Marae. On Monday through Tuesday, there will be several cultural exhibitions and showcase. There will be full days will specifically scheduled to highlight our unification as a people. On Tuesday, specifically the 29th, there will be a Hawaiian cultural showcase. A full day has been specifically scheduled to highlight our Loea and Kumu who will be attending. This dedicated program honors OHA's commitment to cultural leadership and provides space for traditional knowledge and artistry to be shared with the broader Polynesian community. On Wednesday, the 30th, there will be the official ceremonial signing and the twinning charters at Marae Tapu Tapu Atea. Friday, August 1st, 2 pathways of engagement. Delegates will have the option to participate in cultural traditions at Tautira, where Hokule'a and Hikeanalia will be moored, or attend a special convening of Tahitian language leaders. This provides a unique opportunity to engage in language revitalization efforts across our Pacific kin. Saturday the 2nd, Huakaitu Whare Hape. Delegates are invited to journey inland to the cultural site of Whare Hape, believed to be the ancestral birthplace of Pele. This sacred huaka'i complements the ceremonial invitation extended by the Tautira families the day before to honor Hokule'a and the enduring connection between our people. And for the Friday the 1st, it is a special ceremony that the families there are hosting, inviting Kamehameha and Oha to be a part of that ceremony. So we're invited guests that day. Sunday the 3rd is the day, of course, we return to Hawaii as a family. Travel and accommodations are secured across Ra'iatea and Tahiti Nui. OHA staff coordinating housing protocol, group logistics, and I serve as the point of contact for our delegation. This journey advances OHA's strategic vision to deepen cultural diplomacy, strengthen ancestral ties, and reaffirm Hawaiian leadership across Oceania o Moana Nui Akea. Participation in this international gathering positions Hawaii as a bridge between our past and our shared Pacific future. Waiawale no, Mr. Chair.
Malama. Hailama. Any questions, trustees, for Hailama? I'm sorry. Did you, Trustee Waihe? Trustee Waihe?
Thank you, Hailama. And I apologize if my question isn't, if it isn't in your expertise to answer. But so I was very grateful when you guys told me about that one day we have to wear all white, because I have my wardrobe is very limited. As you know, like when people see a guy like Trustee Galuteria, they think House of Nobles. When they see me, they think houseless hobo. So
Take you shopping.
So my point is, I wanted to make sure that I'm properly attired for all the events. So what kind of clothes we need to bring to be representing OHA in the best. Well, I know we have the
Mahalo nui, and I really want to thank Alina, our Deputy Chief of Staff, who worked with Royce and others and everyone just to collect everything. And I think Summer is engaged in that too, to collect everything to put on a manifest. So we'll make sure that everything is, actually, most of it is already spelled out what to wear the day of. And we apologize for the surprise. Thank you for sharing. One thing Chair knows, we've shared with all of our trustees attending that we have to be like bamboo. And when I say that means when you pull a bamboo down and you let it go, it usually springs back up. And I've noted that with our family in the Pacific, that there are times where they'll say, we also want to tell you. So last night was the first time we heard that we all need natural fiber hats. That was the first for us. And then this morning, and you'll get this today, I got an email from Tahiti saying, please learn this song. And it's a song for the Tapu Tapu Atea Marae. So that's the bamboo time. We'll call it in. But we'll make sure you have all the information for your lole, the proper attire. We don't want any of us to not have that information. So absolutely.
Thank you, Hailama, because as you know, I am not a stylish man. The other day, I was walking on the grounds of Kauaʻi Church, as we all do on occasion, and some lady tried to make them repatriate me. No, I'm kidding.
Trustee Aquino. Trustee Aquino.
Thank you, Chair. I may not be as colorful as our trustee who has shown his humor. Hailama, thank you for all your work on this very important project. Now, I believe the last time we discussed it was on March 20th, where we looked at the budgeted amounts and the approved participant count. Has that changed from 15 since then, or have there been any significant changes in the budget we should be aware of?
Yeah, thank you. The change is just by one. So we have the official delegation is 16. And we brought up 15, I think, in March. And then we have the privilege to add one more trustee. So we have, which is always good, we have six trustees. So now our count is 16. The additional folks have come. They're going to be our guests, our families. Some folks are bringing their children and grandchildren, and that's welcomed. We do know, though, the official guests are the ones that we have first priority in making sure get to from point A to point B, and we'll be there. And we've asked the flexibility of the families to understand that our first attention will be to our delegation of 16. So yes.
Mahalo.
Regarding the budget, it would be reflective of some of the things that we may anticipate and didn't anticipate. So I would anticipate probably a couple of surprises, to be honest, trustee, but nothing grossly outside of the projected thought at that time.
I'd also add, Trustee Aquino, that the additional non-official delegation members, so from number 17 to 32, are all at the full expense of each individual trustee.
Right.
So only the 16 members of the official delegation are being paid for by the Office of Hawaiian Affairs.
Well,
And we're also very fortunate to have Hawaiian Airlines
Oh.
as a very key part of this journey for us. They've historically partnered with the Polynesian Voyaging Society and support Hokulea's efforts. And because Hokulea is also down in Tahiti and is a part of our journey and agenda, Hawaiian Airlines graciously is also working with us and helped us to minimize some of the costs, especially as it relates to airfare. Stacy.
Well, thank you.
Mahalo, Chair. I just wanted to assure Trustee Aquino that we'll provide you a full expense of the trip once we're completed.
Thank you. I'm confident of that. Thank you for all the work you're putting in.
Yeah.
And fellow trustees, for those of you representing us. Mahalo.
Trustee Akaka.
Mahalo, mahalo, Hailama, for these updates, and mahalo to you, Royce, Lena, and those who have put a lot of effort into being the ever upspringing bamboo of our team to ensure that we're getting the details that we need. And I'm looking forward to seeing what more there is in store to this experience to come. And I guess we'll be in constant communication to make sure that we have everything that we need before we get there. So mahalo for constantly being available to you and Rice to help us coordinate all this. Really appreciate it. Mahalo.
I guess the last part I'd like to add, and is if I'm a beneficiary, right, sitting out there watching this YouTube and wondering how come such a large delegation is going to, all the way to Tahiti. I'd love to go to Tahiti too. This is a really important trip because it also includes not just Raiatea and the outer line Society Islands, French Polynesia islands of the Tuamotus and the Australs, but it also includes Rapa Nui, right, Aotearoa, and other Moani Nui Akea, Polynesian nations. And so just like PVS sails around the world, especially throughout Polynesia, to reestablish those ancestral cultural ties, very similar to the Festival of the Pacific Arts that happened last year. These cultural exchanges are very important, and they reinforce, indigenous solidarity. They help us to create these strategic alliances. Shared ancestry and culture is very much rooted in the Polynesian Triangle. And so this significant agreement and culture exchange between Raiatea and the other Pacific Island nations and Kamehameha and the Office of Hawaiian Affairs is really a historic opportunity for all of us. So I think it's really important and worth the investment from our beneficiaries for this cultural exchange and event.
And Chair, to echo what you're saying, you may have heard me a few times saying in some of my reports to you as a board, for if OHA were to be absent from this festival, it would have been a significant gap. And there are places in Hawaii, there are places in our Pacific nation where OHA needs to be for our people. And this is one. At the beginning, when we were presented, given the presentation by Dr. Randy Fong, I would say back in July or August of last year, he showed you a video, you know, and it connects what Chair just talked about, the Polynesian Triangle. I believe at this caliber, I believe this is the first time the 3 points of the triangle are coming together at a place that was once called Hawaii, and that is Ra'iatea. Its old name is Hawaii. And we say in our ancestral ties that we come from Kahiki, and others say they come from Hawaii, and perhaps it is this place. And so this is the first time I believe at this caliber, all points of the triangle will come together at the Pico, which is Ra'iatea, for us. And Chair will be a part of the signing agreement that will lead us to much future opportunities as a family of the Pacific. So, mahalo.
And finally, you know, the lo'ea that are coming for our beneficiaries are some of Hawaii's most revered cultural, Olelo Hawaii language, practitioners, artisans. So we're so blessed and fortunate to have Dr. Larry Kimura joining us, Dr. Kalena Silva joining us, who I believe the last time the two of them stood together at Tapu Tapu Atea was in the Nonamamo voyage that Trustee Galataria often talks about. And I believe it was 1992 when Hokulea arrived for the first time at the marae. And both Kalena and Larry Olid the Va'ain. Also joining us is Dennis Kanaʻi Keawe, one of Hawaii's most revered artisans as it relates to carving and craftsmanship, as well as the next generation of Kumuhula. That's Kekoa Harmon and Pelehonua Mea Harmon, great-granddaughter of Mary Kawena Pukui. And so we're blessed and honored to have these incredible lo'ea coming with us, and are looking forward to spending that time with them. Any final thoughts, Hailama? Okay. Mahalo. All right. Here's my agenda. Okay, time now is 10:14, so we're still waiting for our Navy briefers. But at this time, we're going to move on to the status of OHA activities, which is item D on our agenda. We have several things to talk about. But first and foremost, Lehua, do we have anyone signed up to speak on any of these listed items?
No one is signed up to speak on these items.
Okay, well, the chair will now recognize our Pouhana and any associated administration to provide an update on OHA's activities. And we can start with item number 1, which would be the updated fiscal year 2026 OHA organizational chart that was adopted by the Board of Trustees as action item Budget and Finance 2551, which was further amended on the board table on June 30th, 2025. So,
Mahalo, Chair. I am going to ask our Director of Human Resources to provide the update.
Law Corey.
Aloha, trustees, mahalo. So I think included in your packets was a copy of the updated org charts. Looks like this. The org chart again is a living document. We're updating it every month, usually on the first or the first working day of the month. So we have in this update, we did include the new budgeted positions in there. So there's now a total of 167 positions reflected in this version of the org chart. What you probably also notice is that we had redone the Board of Trustees page, and some of these changes were based on the suggestions from Hailama, who had mentioned from a cultural perspective, we should actually have it where the at-large trustees are furthest on the left, and then the remaining trustees should be presented according to the Hawaii Islands. And so that's why that has been updated to reflect it in that way. Similar to before, we do have the vacant positions still in the lighter blue colors. Oh, sorry. Can we go to the next slide? So, yeah, so like the blue, those light baby blue positions, those still reflect the vacant positions. If there is an interim person in that position, it would also reflect those interim staff as well. We are still working on 13 position descriptions for some of the newer positions or for some updated PDs. Once we get those updated, then we will be posting those for recruitment going forward. I'm not sure if you wanted me to go through each PIA, but yeah, they're kind of reflected there. There are also two additional boxes that you may have noticed. One is for the integrated assets position, for example, which is being replaced by one of the two new land manager positions. So I have it there on the org chart. It's just floating because we're still in the process of figuring out that movement. And then there's one more similar for our reporting and financial analysts as well. That is also a floating position. So those are technically not included in the position count, but they are on this org chart just to reflect that there are still people in those positions. Did anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I'll start. So Corey, we sent you a few days ago specific changes to the org chart that didn't, the July 16 org chart does not match the board approved org chart. Can you give an update on why those were not incorporated as of yet?
I'm sorry, Chair. Which positions?
Well, we can go to the resource management financial assets page.
Uh-huh.
So there were at least 7 or 8 discrepancies in the org chart that we sent your office a few days ago to be reflected. One of them you mentioned was the budget chief position. That position is now held by Grace Chen as directed in the board's action item. The financial and reporting analyst position does not exist as an authorized position. If you go to I'm just shooting from the hip here. If you go to research and evaluation, that position, research systems manager is now Kale Hannes, and there is no digital archive systems administrator position. There's 3 positions under that. So when will these changes be updated?
So for those 2 positions, because they're promotional opportunities, our practice has been to actually post those and then allow people to apply if they're interested, and then also to ensure that whoever does apply is meeting the qualifications. Those 2 PDs are still actually being worked on. And so, at this point, we don't know whether.
Well, we didn't do that. The budget that we adopted has the authorized positions in the budget and the title names. So there is no position description. There is no posting. That is in a board approved budget and board approved positions.
Correct. We understand that, Chair, that it was a board approved position. However, fair labor practice requires us as a state agency to have competitive recruitment for all positions. And so for us to just slot people in, 1, without a job description, 2, without a salary band, and 3, without certainty that they can even meet the job description that doesn't exist yet is problematic. And so again, our practice as a state agency would to follow the best practice of making it a competitive process. So there's no disagreement that these positions that the board has approved will exist, but it requires a competitive process. Mahalo.
So the position exists. The current positions do not exist. So do you plan to bring that back as an action item?
We would have to, because if not, then these individuals will not have a position.
So what's the timeline for that? Since we adopted this 23 days ago.
So there have been many different discrepancies that were found in these organizational restructures that Corey and I have been working on. That is, in order to get the salary releveling done so people can get paid accordingly, we prioritize that first. And the second priority will be to get these one-off positions reconciled. So it is urgent and we will get to it as soon as possible. Mahalo for your understanding.
And there is individual, I mean, there's little changes, like little title changes that were in various different positions. And so there's discrepancies in what we're seeing here that was sent to the board on July 16th. This doesn't reflect the organizational chart that the board adopted. And so we'd like to see that reflected org chart as soon as possible. And I hope as a standard practice, the board can expect on a monthly basis, we'd get an updated org chart. Since we hire new people all the time. And so it's important for the board to know the total FTE count, both the vacancies we have and the actual staff that are hired, as well as who the names are and who the individuals are. So if we could, generally expect to have that on a monthly basis, that would be, I think, a good practice.
Yeah, absolutely, Chair. So we are updating it monthly, and we are routing a new updated org chart at the first of the month or the first workday after the first of the month.
So like, just then to clarify, as an example, if you go to the resource management, financial assets, or actually you can go to the last one, investments. So before June 30th, Ryan Lee was the director of endowment, but he's now the director of investments, and you've made that change. So what's the difference between that and another change that you decided not to make?
If it's a title change, it's a lot easier for us to implement right away, because the PD itself, there was no changes to the actual duties, responsibilities, or minimum requirements. So we can do a title change relatively quickly. So those types of changes, we are trying to implement them as quickly as we can.
Okay. So there were some title changes that we sent you that should be pretty easy to change.
Yes.
Okay. So can we expect to see those August 1st when the new org chart comes out?
Yeah, should be able to do that.
Okay, great. Okay. Trustees, any questions on the org chart? Trustee Chair Emerita?
I'm just wondering if some of the title changes have the position descriptions that's required to put that on our org chart right this moment, and I think that's the holdup on the staff side. If don't have position description, it's not on our org chart, and that's probably what they're working on. Is that what you folks are working on?
So the positions, we're reflecting the positions on the org chart, but yeah, we are still working on PDs for many of them. There's 13, I believe, right now that are still in process.
So the chair's question is justifiable in that some get and
Sure.
some no more.
If you look at the community engagement org chart, we have the community and brand engagement manager. Do you have a PD for that?
No, not.
But you
not
put it on the org chart.
Right.
So
correct.
what you're saying is not accurate. It's not consistent. You're saying you don't have PDs for certain positions, and that's why they're not on the org chart, but the community and brand engagement manager position is on the org chart.
No, I'm not saying that if we don't have the PDs that they're not on the org chart. They should be on the org chart, but we may need to still update some of the titles on the org chart. So I'll reconcile those things, and we can have those updated on the August 1 org chart.
Okay. And we'd gone back to Ryan, basically what you had said. His title and compensation was just a salary change. It was no different than any other positions.
Well, except for the ones that were newly created.
No, it came from the Native Hawaiian Trust Fund. Ryan's salary always came from the Native Hawaiian Trust Fund. So Right, but he's now the director of investments. His salary's 100% comes from the Native Hawaiian Trust Fund. And
Mhm.
it was a title change from director of endowment to director of investments. So I guess my point is we would like to see this implemented as soon as possible. The board approved organizational chart that we amended on the table, and moved grants back to S&I and adjusted the Board of Trustees, how that was organized and I guess presented in the org chart. We changed those. So we'd like to see these changes incorporated. We'd like to see the specific FTE incorporated as it's adopted. So that's an execute.
Okay,
Okay. So we'll look forward to seeing that on August 1st.
okay, understood.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on unless we have no other questions to, oh, I'm sorry, Trustee Aquino.
Thank you, Chair. Appreciate that. And just to follow up on your line of questioning, Corey, just so that I have clarity here, are you saying that the organizational charts we have presented, that you have presented today, are in line with best practice in terms of what the administration can and should produce and present to the board, even in light of directives that have been given?
Yeah, I would say that they are. I mean, we're trying to do our best to present the org charts as accurately as possible and timely. I know there are some things, and I guess I'll also share that there's been many changes, kind of rapid changes, and positions being added, removed. It has been a challenge for us to keep track of everything with everything else that's ongoing at this time. But we will review it and make the updates as needed.
Well, thank you then. I see that and accept this as best practice and appreciate the prudence with which you are proceeding to protect us as a board. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that update. We're going to move on to human resources update. And Corey, we'll talk about some of our OHA staff vacancies.
It will be me, Chair. It'll be me.
Oh, you,
Yeah.
okay, sure, go ahead.
Hello.
Pouhana will do the human resources update and OHA staff vacancies as it relates to some specific positions and if we have any other questions.
Mahalo. So for the HR updates, just so the board knows, I'm leading 5 selection teams right now. So it's a busy time for us. So the first update that I'd like to provide to you is on the Managing Director of Real Estate. Right now it's in application review. We do have several candidates that we are interested in interviewing. The selection committee has been assembled and we're aiming to interview the week of August 4th. The second position is our Native Hawaiian Revolving Loan Fund Manager. We have our last round 1 interview tomorrow, Friday, July 25th. And the recommended candidate that we select will go for a second round interview with the Native Hawaiian Revolving Loan Fund Board. So that was a request of the board. We thought it was a great idea because the manager will be working very closely with that board. We thought that that made a lot of sense. And so we're hoping to have a selection by mid-August. For the CFO selection committee, we have 1 final interview to conduct, and that will happen the week of August 4th. And we are hoping, we think we have a very, viable pool and hoping to bring on a new CFO by September 2nd.
Great.
Everett Ota was selected by the hiring committee to be OHA's general counsel, and his official start date was July 18th. And lastly, I'm very pleased and excited to announce that the COO selection committee made a recommendation and the COO candidate accepted OHA's employment offer yesterday. Our new COO will start September 2nd.
All right.
Unfortunately, I can't provide any additional information at this time because our new COO needs to inform their organization. So,
Awesome.
I'm not saying. But the board will be very pleased that we have a COO that will start September 2nd. I can't say the name because they have to notify their, when can I?
Maybe the next board meeting? Oh, yeah, whenever.
Yeah, certainly I can share with the board informally.
Yeah.
Once I'm given the green light by the new COO, but publicly at our next meeting, Chair.
Yeah. Okay, great.
I do want to share that, you know, in working with Chair Kahele and our Director of Human Resources, we are looking at expedited hiring. And, you know, we know that there are many new positions that were included. We already had vacancies. Now we have additional vacancies because of the new positions. And we're excited because we have the opportunity to fill out our teams because we have a lot of work ahead of us. But I will share with you that the ELT has been meeting every Monday, and we look at all of the positions that are currently vacant and where they are in the hiring process. And so we are bird dogging every single one of those positions. We're making great progress. Our advocacy team is, you know, did a bunch of hiring, and our research and evaluation team, our operations team, I mean, just across the board. So I'm very pleased, and you know, these are heavy lifts by the hiring supervisors and those who are willing to serve on these interview committees, because you know, basically work stops and everybody has to make sure that these processes keep moving. And you know, again, kudos to Corey, you know, kalamai on some, maybe some oversights on the org charts, but Corey and his team are working unbelievably hard to make sure that they can accommodate the influx of you know, all of the hirings that we are doing, in addition to all the salary reconciliation and lots of other things that happen just to keep that office moving. So mahalo, Corey, we appreciate you, we value you, and mahalo.
Thanks, Corey.
And okay. So
Questions?
that's it for that.
Trustee Wahe.
So Everett finally gave in. Yeah, we finally got him to. Everett finally caved in. Oh, by the way, sorry, who did you say the new Ponui was again? I
can't say.
Oh. So
Nice try. You know what? It wasn't an automatic yes for Everett to apply. And so it was after much consultation with him and in him talking with his family, he came to that decision, and the committee was grateful that he put his name forward. Yes, yes.
Questions? I have one. Okay. So yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, Steve, by the time, I think we have some deadlines that are coming up. Obviously, it's the session begins. Are we gonna be full throttle by the time the session comes with advocacy team, you think? Do we have a lot of candidates for the team?
We do. We have a lot of candidates. Like I just mentioned, we just hired 2 policy advocates, so that's great. We are in the process of hiring our ocean policy manager, and we just hired a compliance officer on Kauaʻi. We're so excited because plenty EV and VI issues, and that has been one of Trustee Ahuna's priorities, is to get boots on the ground and kokua. We do have one position that we're reposting and hoping that we can put the word out. So if anybody knows of somebody who would be good for Maui Nui, compliance agent there, you know, please have them apply. Again, you know, these compliance agents, officers, you know, are really critical for us, and especially the Maui Nui one, because they will be servicing Maui, Molokaʻi, and Lanai. And again, lots of issues there that our beneficiaries tell us over and over again. So, you know, we are pushing very hard to get our advocacy and compliance team filled out.
Okay, so let's just follow up. So by the time session comes, at least a couple of months before session, so that we can meet with the
So
entire
we're gonna
team?
have, our 2 policy advocates are gonna start August 1st.
Okay,
And hopefully our ocean policy manager, we will get on shortly thereafter.
okay, thank you.
Quick question. Yes, so you mentioned about an advocacy person for Maui serving Molokaʻi as well? So Molokaʻi won't get their own.
No, they will. It'll be housed on Maui. If if there's a need to specifically have somebody on Molokaʻi, we should have that conversation.
Okay.
But as of now, it will be serving Maui Nui. Okay. Lanai as well, yes.
So I have a few. You know, yesterday I don't know, we passed 15 Ho'oko'oko'a sponsorships. And as I look through the applications, and there's that section about, you know, what the event is offering to OHA. And so many events offer so many things that we have opportunities to participate in, from speaking opportunities to booths to pop-up tents, signage. And I couldn't help think about the community brand engagement position that we put in the budget to do that. I know, I don't think Elisa's there, yeah. So I know there's a lot of position descriptions that need to be written, and I'm one that is probably maybe not written yet, but that's one that I think is so important as we have 2026 Ho'oko'oko'a. And I just think about all the missed opportunities that we are not taking advantage of. And these events, they want us there so badly, you know. The Nanakuli event, Yakehau, you know, they wanted us so badly to come to their regatta. And so I think we have to, we put money in this budget to hire a position that would do only that. Basically handle all the Ho'oko'oko'a events, be in community. We seeded the resources to purchase, I guess event kits where they can stand up and OHA pop up and have all the things necessary there. So I think there's so many important positions to fill, but that is definitely one that as these events go by and you know, like an example, unfortunately, we didn't have the staff to be at the Friends of the Library event, but at least we got a banner up there, and everyone, the thousands of people that went through to buy books down there in Kaka'ako saw the Office of Hawaiian Affairs banner, but we could have had a presence there, and it's too much to ask for our BSAs that are already overstaffed and doing a whole bunch of different things. So I think that is one that's really important. The
Chair, would it be okay also to share, because you're doing a lot of hiring too.
Sure.
Lisa,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
under
absolutely.
community engagement, she has beneficiary services as well as grants, and we know that
Yeah.
that's very much a priority for the board. I would love for her to give an update.
Hi, Lisa.
Aloha trustees, kalamai.
And I guess, Lisa, while you're getting ready, you know, because this position is so critical to the external involvement with OHA, this is not like a internal here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 kind of job, right? This position is to be out in community staffing all of these Ho'oko'oko'a events.
Yeah.
During the work week, they're getting ready for the events that are going to happen on the weekend. And they're also actively engaged with the trustees to see who can come and attend those events, right? So that if there's a speaking engagement, ideally you would want a trustee there or a member of the senior administrative team to be able to convey that message. And so this position would be solely focused on all the external events, not just only on this island, but also on the neighbor islands as well. And so we would have these community engagement Ho'oko'oko'a event kits on each island. You'd have pop-up tents, right, stored at our OHA offices on every island. So all the individual needs to do is boom, fly in, pick up the kit, which is one of the reasons why we're putting vehicles on these islands. I can't remember. Did that stay in the budget or not stay in the budget? The vehicles came out. Okay. So I guess we got to figure out another way to
Yeah, we
move
gotta put it back.
and do transportation, except for Big Island, I think, who has a vehicle.
I was just going to add to that because I've noticed we don't have that in the budget. We gotta find a way to put that back in, especially with all of this that's gonna take place with their teams to be out there to be able to provide OHA related items and so
Yeah.
forth, promotional. I believe that's truly important because it's in their hands constantly, because they know where they got it from. They know that OHA's presence was there. And it's so true. We're going to need it on each island to have the set items from the tablecloths
Everything.
to the table, everything, the works and the promotional items as well. So I'm hoping we're able to get that back in our budget somewhere, maybe carry over. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and we supplemented this position, the manager position, with assistant
In 27.
in 27. Yeah, figuring that you needed time to stand up this new kind of sub pia within your bigger pia, and so the idea is to bring on this second individual, unless it's rocking and rolling and you feel like the second position would be critical in 26, and then at some point, if we ever do a fall realignment or something, we could incorporate it then, pending the resources. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, actually, thank you for that offer. I was actually wondering possibly then if maybe that could be a BSA position for, instead of the assistant to the brand manager, bring that in as a BSA position to, because to your point, the long list of events, and if they're weekend events, again, we're asking a lot of our staff to take away their weekends so that they can support OHA at community events. And we have been in attendance to as many as we can.
Yeah.
We do have weekday events as well. For example, right now, Papa Ololokahi is having their event at Ala Moana Hotel. Fortunately, this one, they only wanted materials. They didn't actually want someone there. So wherever we can be, we do our best to be where our lahui gathers. So thank you very much for the resources and the manpower.
I wouldn't be opposed to a BSA, and we did plus up the BSAs in the budget too. I guess my only hesitation would be if the BSA was also, and just correct me if I misunderstood you, the BSA would be performing BSA duties during the work week, and then also be, and that's hard, right? It's, if you're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and then you're expected to go to the Nanakuli regatta on Sunday morning, like that's not fair to ask someone to do that. But if their only job was events, then I think that's what they're hired for, right?
This is true. But in addition to the events, we're really doing our best to uplift the HRP program. So we're seeing an influx of applicants, and we are definitely expecting that to increase as we are bringing HRP to our communities and really spreading the word, not only here in Hawaii, but across the pond to the continent, to Turtle Island as well. Which is why having someone in the role of a BSA gives us a better spread as far as being able to utilize them across the different areas that our PIA supports.
Yeah, makes sense. HRP should be a critical part of the process. Trustee Galatero? Yeah.
So I saw an opportunity yesterday. Somebody's mic is on, so I can't.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I saw, was it 19 Kōkeʻe yesterday, or whatever it was? I recognize that appropriately as 19 opportunities to sign people up for the registry. So I know that Kevin's working on, IT's working on the portable thing to take. Perhaps we, because we don't have the bandwidth, maybe on that particular event, find a way by which to sign people up, or at least get information that we can bring back here that we can follow up on. Because these are opportunities that we don't want to lose, right? I mean, we're out there, and if we're supporting the event, then they should support us signing people up for our registry.
You're not wrong, Trustee, and we do that. What Kevin and the team is providing us right now is an updated application to streamline our application process, which is very, very much needed to help alleviate a lot of the holes that we have. I mean, I have drawers and drawers of incomplete applications. So they're doing their best to update the application process. So everything now will be online. All the submittals will be online. Until we get everything put together, still, our practice remains consistent. At every event, we always bring applications with us. We have a signage with the QR code for the HRP webpage on OHA's website, so people can just click the code and utilize those means that we have available to us right now. But we do our best to continually push HRP participation and sign up, which is why we still have a backlog. Due to all our best efforts to put everybody, I mean, all hands are on deck to really address this.
A follow-up, yeah, I think we're up to like 40,000 or something like that. Our registry. I don't find it unreasonable to say that by the end of the year, we should be up to 100,000. If we can be so bold to say that, because as we go into an election season, it's going to be important for us to let those electeds know that we got political clout. And that's going to come with the registry. So we have data to go to. I'm just putting that out to you. So you can, fashion that how you would like.
Thank you, Trustee.
Thank you.
And with regards to the count, we are working on that, establishing what that number would look like, because it has been brought up, and I want to make sure we give you a good, accurate number.
Mahalo. Mahalo, Lisa, for reaching out to me regarding Oahu Island community meetings so that we can collaborate on that as we continue with the plannings of that. I also wanted to share, so there's an understanding. I know I've touched on in various meetings our Oahu Island, our neighborhood board meetings and our participation there. And I also want to acknowledge at Lisa. I want to thank you and the team for from the get-go when I had made in the requests in terms of what materials we would have to be able to share with the communities, you and the team, comms and so forth, community engagement, and also our advocacy team in working hand in hand with my team in making sure that what we're requesting is made possible, from QR code options and handouts, and simply to answer the question of why OHA exists, why it's so important, the work that we do. So with that said, listening to what the conversation is and recommendations and how we can go forward with BSA and our presence in the community, one thought is regarding our Hawaiian registry program, maybe the position that is going to be at events and so forth, maybe they can also, given that they're receiving and going to be advocating regarding our registry program, maybe they can work on helping with the backlog on the off time when they're not doing events, so that, of course, keeping in mind a balanced work-life schedule that makes sense, but maybe that's something to consider, or maybe even also having an intern come in to kokua with these matters. Oftentimes interns, they can receive school credit, and I'm sure we have a lot of the youth that might be interested in participating in this good work for our people. Something to consider, not just for this department, but for various departments. Mahalo.
Mahalo. And I'm sorry, I might have opened up the can of worms by asking about a position that wasn't on our agenda. So let's wrap this up and then we'll move on.
So with regards to community engagement, we have made an offer for the administrative assistant position. The two Oahu positions offers are being made. We have just posted Hawaii Island, those two positions on Hawaii Island. Loan officer, I'm not too sure where that is in the posting spectrum. Grants officer has been posted, and we're beginning interviews for that position as well. And then the community brand engagement manager, that position is being created, the job description.
Awesome.
And then just to answer trustee's comment, thank you for mentioning the great work of comms. They have given us 3 more through Kalina and her award-winning efforts, have created 3 beautiful additional flyers with the QR codes to help keep the community informed and be able to engage with us directly. And we are working at putting together a package for the August neighborhood boards. Thank you.
Trustee Lindsay, Chair.
Yeah, I don't want to go back, but as far as Maui is concerned, I'm so grateful for the wonderful BSA that I have in Maui. And I'm grateful that we're changing the second BSA to a compliance officer. And I really cannot see why we cannot jump over in that the compliance officer can help with these functions instead of hiring special people just to do that. It should be a shared thing between the BSA and the compliance officer, for example. And same thing with Molokaʻi. You know, Maui can go to Molokaʻi anytime and assist there. Because we're bringing in a compliance officer and we have to, you know, check all of the EV and what have you. So I would suggest that we not increase the BSAs, but we have compliance officers helping with these activities so that we can be out in the community so many times.
Maybe one solution is, you know, incorporating like a flexible schedule
Yeah.
for these positions where if you're gonna go staff a major Ho'oko'ako event on a Saturday,
Yeah.
and maybe you're a BSA, you don't come in on Friday. Because I
Chair,
don't know if we can do that. or
Chair,
not.
no, we
It's an
do.
idea.
That exists.
Oh, it
That's
does?
practice.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe that's
Yeah,
ideal.
and then mahalo trustee, to your point, we gratefully welcome support of other PAIA, and we have invited and other PAIA have helped us as well in attending specific events, specifically when those also are in alignment with their work as well. It's the synergies there. So we welcome assistance from whoever is would like to join us.
Okay, mahalo. Just one last question, because I know a lot of this rests on Corey and your HR team. And just so you know, we put money in your budget if you need external help. It's $140,000 if you need external help from a third-party HR firm for position description drafting, for initial interview or screening of applicants. And the goal was to achieve a less than 15% vacancy rate by December 31st and achieve the filling of specific positions. So we want you to succeed. We gave you the tools to succeed. If you feel like you want to pull the trigger on that, have at it.
Yeah, mahalo trustees for that. I am working on that as well.
Okay.
There's some logistical things within our office that I'm needing to work out as
Yeah.
far as space and, you know, workspace. But yeah, we are moving in that direction. I already have some potential individuals from the agency
Great.
who can help with that.
And if you end up achieving those benchmarks, then you can repurpose those resources. You know, just come back to the board, tell us what your plan is, and I'm sure we'd be supportive of it. So we know a lot. Filling all these vacancies is gonna be a big challenge, and we want to do that. And maybe one thing to think about for Kauaʻi is, as we send out the typically monthly organizational chart that reflects the changes and all the new people incoming and outgoing, is maybe having something that talks about like an HR update, right? Here are the current vacancy rates. These are the current positions that are in what stage of the hiring process. It's welcome news, Stacy, for us to hear that we're going to have a COO on the 2nd of August, right? And that's useful information for us to have in a general sense, because we have so much positions that need to be filled. So maybe as a suggestion, not to add another thing on your plate. And if you think that's too much,
No,
I'm sure
we
can
already are
call
doing it for the
Uncle.
ELT, so we can do an abbreviated version for
Yeah.
the BOT for sure.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that, you know, although it wasn't updated here, you know, that whatever the BOT provides to us as a priority, we are working on it. So even if we're not talking about it, it doesn't mean that it's not getting done.
Sure.
It's just that, again, with Corey and he and I, we talk very often about the priorities, and but certainly nothing is being dropped. We are addressing all of the things that the board has asked us to look at, including bringing on those additional resources.
Okay. Trustee Akaka, and then we're gonna move on.
Mahalo. I also want to acknowledge the hard work that Corey and this team has been working on there. To what you're mentioning, Stacy, there are a lot of things that they juggle and they take on that are not a part of that job description. very sensitive matters, incredibly sensitive matters. So it takes the work of Corey, the HR team, the executive leadership team, Kehau included, Stacy, Hailama. And I want to thank you folks for, with such great aloha and sensitivity, serving in the capacity that you do on the kahias that are not always known about. So I want to acknowledge that.
Okay, thank you so much, Corey. Trustees, we have our Navy Region Hawaii presenters here. And so I'm gonna pause the status of OHA activities update. We're gonna take a quick 5-minute recess. We'll reconvene at 11:05. Quick lower break and good. Okay. We gave them 15-minute presentation, and if we have questions, we can ask those questions. So I'm hoping 30 minutes max, and then we can jump right back into these items and we can get through them as quick as we can. Okay, we'll reconvene 11:05.